Welcome to Tips for Effective Church Leadership. Today we'll be covering a concept known as the trifecta. As a leader in the church today, you must find a way to balance the big three. 1. Work. Merriam-Webster defines work as to do something that involves physical or mental effort, especially for money or because of a need, instead of for pleasure. Okay. Leisure, number 2, which is freedom provided by the cessation or the ceasing of activities, especially time free from work or duties. And lastly, number 3 is church or ministry. The Google Dictionary defines ministry as the work or vocation of a minister of religion. Now, the key in that definition is the word work. As much as we love the Lord and as much as we do work at the church because we love the Lord, it is important that we call it what it is. It is work. It is not leisure. Okay? And so finding balance between the three of these is going to be critically important. As a leader, I'm sure you're already aware of how important it is to find balance with these three. It's not to say that one of these won't cross into the other. Each one has their own forms of bleed, as it were, quote unquote, such as the church will bleed into work or leisure during convention time, when you have extra services, things of that nature. Work tends to bleed, when you need to work some overtime, you have special projects, and even leisure can bleed when it comes to vacations, family events, family reunions, things of that nature. But the key is to find balance. Balance is the name of the game. Balance is a constant pursuit that we can all attest to being necessary in our lives. The reason why you need to find balance is because too much work in church and not enough leisure time can cause one to go crazy, quote unquote. Secondarily, you can mess around and lose your family. You can lose a great many things. Most importantly, the big thing that you can lose is the reason why you were doing all of this work in the first place. Secondarily, if you have too much church and not enough leisure, or too much church, too much leisure, and not enough work, you can go broke. Because remembering, we work because we have a need. So it provides resources. So too much church and too much leisure, unless you're in full-time ministry, you can look up and go broke. Too much work and too much leisure. One of the worst things is that you can lose your spiritual connection. You can lose your spiritual convictions and look up and start to live a lifestyle that you know is not pleasing to the Lord and end up going to hell, which none of us want. So in order to fix the areas where we have too much work or leisure or ministry, here's just a couple of tips on how to deal with them. If you find yourself with too much work, considering we're working to supply a need instead of for pleasure, one of the things that we can focus on, considering a lot of times the resource we're going to work for is money, we can focus on lowering our debt. If we have debt, we owe. And so it's important that we don't have a lot of debt. We look at being debt-free or lowering, if not removing that debt altogether, so that we can minimize the amount of work that we have to do. Not necessarily the amount of work that we want to do, but the amount of work that we have to do. Also, secondarily, we can start to purchase things with our money that make money rather than cost us money. So we can start to purchase assets instead of liabilities. We can purchase real estate instead of cars and clothes. We can learn another thing, which we can learn to live within our means. That's a big one. In this day and age, they do not promote this concept. But as a leader, being able to live within our means helps us to understand the amount that the Lord has provided, and that this amount is actually more than enough. And if we're trying to do more than that, then we need to seek the Lord on getting greater resources. Also, another thing, and we'll circle back around to this another time, is to trust God to take care of you. That's a big one, but we'll circle back on that another time. Secondarily, if you have too much leisure, find something that you enjoy doing. Find something that you enjoy doing. If you like to play video games, find something that you enjoy doing and find out how to get paid for it. That way, it lowers the amount of stress involved, and then you can look up and you're doing what you love to do and making money at the same time. Lastly, if you have too much ministry, you find that you're going to church all the time and that you're not spending time with your family, you're not spending time with your wife, you're not spending time nurturing and growing your children, remember the Lord has set up a priority structure, which is something that we're going to cover in another video. There is a priority structure for mankind. And God, if the Lord has given you a wife and given you a children, blessed you with a wife or a husband, a spouse, and blessed you with children, then why would he call you to sacrifice them for the cause of Christ? Why would he it's not that he's necessarily telling you to leave your wife, but why would he have you ignore your wife and her needs as a human being when the two have become one flesh when you got married? That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, and it's not scripturally sound. WayneStyles.com says the two ways to find balance is: one, look for God, not to others, to determine your priorities. We'll be covering that in detail in another video, but it's very important that you look to God for the structuring of your priorities. Secondarily, learn to say no so that you can say yes to what is most important. Learn to say no so that you can say yes to what is most important. What is most important? What is most important? That is how you find balance. Is find out what is most important to you and learn how to prioritize that above the things that are not necessarily as important. We will cover that in detail in another video. If you have some ideas on how to help Christian leaders, how to find balance, how you find balance in your personal life, in your personal Christian leadership life, please list them in the comments. Put a link in there and we can all grow together. Again, if you enjoyed this video, hit like, share, and subscribe. Please share this video with other leaders that you feel are wrestling with the trifecta, and we can all grow together. Remember, it is together that we prevail. God bless.